there's two objectives. The first is we want to build your brand so that when you get in touch with your dream companies, they go and check you out and they say, this is the guy we want to have on the team. Additionally, we want when they go looking for somebody, they find you. The second thing is that we want to broaden our network, right? Like be connecting with the people in our dream companies. So we want to raise our awareness, our visibility, broaden our network, and establish our credibility. So establishing or reinforcing your professional brand. The mechanics of this they sound relatively simple, and I know that this is something that people struggle with. Somebody put in the chat that they struggle with posting. First off, the goal should be to write a post yourself 3 to 5 times a week. If you're going to do 3 times a week, it should be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if we're getting really nitpicky, you should post it between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So the first thing is everybody's chosen 3 roles, right? 3 job titles. The way that you pick your broad topics is think about if somebody that you work with has no idea what your department does, what are the things they need to know about? They don't need all the details that you don't have to impart all of the knowledge. You're just making them aware. Think about if you were to have a meeting and there's something really important to discuss and nobody had ever heard of it before versus they've seen articles in the Wall Street Journal. So establishing our brand. I recommend keeping a Google Doc with just quick notes, links to articles that you found interesting that are related to your field, and that the way that you should write a post is you have a 1,300 character limit in LinkedIn. This basically amounts to about 2 to 3 good-sized paragraphs. The post that you see here that I wrote on artificial intelligence is maxed out. I had to trim it down to make it fit. You don't have to write a novel. You're not writing a bunch of stuff. If you are writing about an article, the most important thing, like I cannot stress this enough, do not put the link to the article in your post. The reason is LinkedIn, like all social media platforms, is run on an algorithm. And the job of the algorithm is to keep eyeballs on LinkedIn screens. So when you post a link, when you put a link to an external article in your post, LinkedIn automatically reduces the visibility of that post by a lot. So what you want to do is write something that people might find interesting, that shows off your area of expertise. And if you have an article, so this particular post, the picture actually comes from an article from Scientific American. And you can see I credited them in the post, but that's linking to their LinkedIn page. So the difference, I think, Leslie, you asked, what's the difference between using the @ symbol and a hashtag? So when you see Scientific American lit up in blue here, that is the @ symbol. And this is tagging people. So when I tagged Scientific American, everybody who follows them potentially will see this post.
Why potentially?
So the way that the algorithm works in general is when you write a post, it is going to go out to about 10% of your network, plus people that you tag, and then companies that you tag, a certain percentage of the people that follow them that may or may not be in your network. If people like your post, comment on your post, take the time to click the little more button and read it, the algorithm says, oh, people are interested in this post, and LinkedIn really doesn't care what it's about, just that people are interested. So once you get over that hurdle of the first 10% and a certain number engaging, now it sends it out to more of your network and more of the network of anybody tagged. So that's the @ symbol. The way hashtags work is it's essentially a subject that people can follow, just like they follow companies. But you need to be careful about which hashtags you use, and I'm going to get to why that is in a minute. But so the big point here is you're showing off your knowledge, your subject matter expertise. You're trying to engage people, and you're not putting external links. So this is why we don't put external links. So this is a guy that I know, really very well respected commercial real estate expert in Tampa, and he posted this article from about the economy, Ben Bernanke. So not a lot of people saw this post because all he did was post an external link with a couple of hashtags. This doesn't do anything to build his brand, really. It's sharing information. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. But if the objective is to broaden our network, raise our profile, increase our level of expertise or our perceived level of expertise, a post like this, this is the type of post that most people do, it does absolutely nothing for you. Makes Ben Bernanke look fantastic. The thing with hashtags is there are a certain number of followers. When I first started posting back in September, a lot of my posts had to do with how businesses were adjusting to COVID-19. And so the very first time I posted, I figured, well, I should probably put in a hashtag about COVID-19. And so I typed hashtag COV, and LinkedIn suggested this hashtag. So I went with it. So a few weeks later, I started learning about hashtags and things, and I realized that COVID-19 has 1,276 followers at that time. Without the dash, 1.1 million. The difference between these is really subtle, but if I use this hashtag, my potential audience is 1,276 beyond my network. Here it's let's round up and call it 1.2 million, right? So 1,200, 1.2 million. The moral of the story is choose the hashtag with more followers, and it relates. The other thing is we have a hashtag for the group. I'll put it in the chat, but the hashtag that we have for the group is hashtag the job attraction system. So if you use this in your posts, then everybody in the group potentially will see it. So this is how hashtags work.
So Avik,
Yeah.
two questions. You are showing the number of followers for a hashtag. How would I see that the number of followers?
Sure.
And the second question is basically, if I know the persons who I'm targeting, how would I know what hashtags they follow? Because then I can use that hashtag when I post it.
Yeah, that's a very good question. The first thing is, how do you know which hashtags have the most followers? One way is I actually have a hashtag library that I maintain. After the webinar, after office hours tonight, I will repost the link to that.
Okay.
So anybody in the group is welcome to utilize that. It's basically just the hashtag and the number of followers. You'll have edit permissions, so you can feel free to add hashtags that are relevant to you. We also have an article with, I think, the most, I think Paul found it, the 100 hashtags with the most followers. And then recently somebody posted in the Slack group, LinkedIn has hashtags for the day of the week. So those are all good suggestions. The way that you know what hashtags would have more followers, or how many followers a hashtag has, is you just type it into the search. So if I type in hashtag data analytics, and there you can see it tells you 107,532 followers. The best way to really kind of find, sometimes LinkedIn will suggest extra hashtags, and I just keep a separate tab open and I'll search those. And then other times I'll find a list. The way that you would find what hashtags people are following is to, when you go to the hashtags, it will show you down at the bottom there for interests. And so this would be where I would start looking for hashtags. So I don't see something for what hashtags she's following, but you can see the people that she's following, you can see the companies,
Mhm.
and you can see the groups that she's in and the school. So for somebody that you really want to catch their eye, I would start looking at posts from all of these places and see what hashtags are popping up.